All right, that was Mariah and ODB Fantasy. Here's what's a fantasy. Now, of course, the coronavirus has imposed all kinds of restrictions on bars and restaurants, several places that people work, and will definitely have an impact on the economy. But I was reading an interesting article in Vox, and it was talking about these workers, the people who are on the front line of corona, the people who can't take off work, the people who can't take off work. And they were talking, and this is about grocery workers, and they, and how they had to work long hours because they were among the only things that were open. But in addition to having to work long hours, they risked being fired if they wanted to call out. And how many people are in a situation right now where they feel like if they are sick or have an emergency or can't get to work, that their way of life, their financial stability is in jeopardy? It is an American tradition. So we're up against a virus, and also the virus of greed and of misunderstanding. Michael Jordan's most famous game was when he played a playoff game with the flu. How many times do we laud athletes because they played injured? How many times do you come to work because when you're sick because you have to? Right now, what they're saying, oh, if you're sick, stay home. Tell that to your supervisor. Tell that to the boss. Tell them when you got a performance appraisal coming up. Because what we say is not what we do. Kobe Bryant needed surgery and still played. Football players, CTE is so bad because they know if they injured, if they hurt, they got a concussion or not, either you do it or somebody else will, because our entire economy primarily, or a great deal of it, is based on fear. Do this or lose that. And the coronavirus can't change that. Do this or lose that. Come to work or you lose it. Come here or it's gone away from you. And so right now, we're at this amazing dichotomy. We have people who are saying to you, be responsible, but what you're primarily responsible for is your family's livelihood. One of the reasons it was easier to shut Italy down because they were responsible for Italy. Well, we'll forego your mortgage payments. They won't do that in America. Greece, Spain, we'll do this. Here, take your ass to work or lose your job. And after we keep you out of work long enough and you're behind, you got to find a way to make that up. Because what we don't have is a helping hand. What we don't have is understanding. They tell you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but they're the boots we loan you while you're doing your job. That is the thing. And one of the things this virus has exposed about America and capitalism, that is a zero-sum game. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know how long this social distancing will last and closing bars, because after a while, people will realize they got to pay their bills, and they will risk their jobs. If people will sell dope, risking jail to go to jail to pay their bills, if people will rob things knowing they got to pay their bill, do all these things to pay their bills and take care of their family, what makes you think they won't violate an ordinance? We have to, if we're going to take something away from somebody, we have to give them something back. That isn't a $1,000 check somewhere down the line, or that isn't, we're going to do this later on. People right now are going to go to work primarily if they can, because they have to. Not only because they know they need to put food on the table, but if they don't, right now there's some dude or some woman telling them, if you don't get your ass in here, you are out of work. And that is the corpus, that is what happens. That is the zero-sum game I'm talking about. Michael Jordan's greatest game was when he played with the flu. As a matter of fact, you'll hear that at work. When Michael Jordan can play with the flu, you can come to work. We used to hear it all the time. Right now in America, one of the reasons of the primary impetus for this virus is that, yes, I'm sick, but I'll be sicker if I get fired. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.